So by far, one of the most helpful tools that I've found at Unusual Whales is this Superflow section of the website. And what it does is it allows you to combine multiple aspects of Unusual Whales and all their tools that they have into one spot. So you don't have to have multiple tabs open. You don't have to be searching through stuff. You don't have to be flipping through things, and you can just see it all on one screen. Okay, and you can find this if you are a member. You can find this in the options here, up under options data, and go to Superflow, and it will pop up this. This is the default setup that you will see when you open it up. If you don't know, you can get Unusual Whales for 10% off at the recording of this video using code Joe. You can go to my website at joenamedjoe.com and follow the link, or you can follow the link in the description, or you can just go to unusualwhales.com and put in the coupon. It's fine. But I thought it would be helpful if I walked through building my own Superflow with the stuff that I look at, for other people to see it and say, hey, that looks pretty neat. Maybe I should sign up, or hey, maybe that would be super helpful. Okay, so this is the default. I'm just going to go ahead and close all these because I don't want them, and we'll start fresh. I'm going to start here with the two things that I like the most, which is going to be market tide. And I'm going to add another market tide. And this is going to be switched to out the money only. Next, I will add, let's add a flow table. You can build out your own flow. Like if you have your filters set up on like a bookmark or something, this is where you can add it, the URL to the dashboard. And you can also make a title if you want. I don't care about those things. I know what I'm looking at. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the window. And then I will go ahead and build out these filters here. So this is going to be my low IV filter. I'm going to put an ask at a minimum of 80% on the ask. I'm going to look at calls and puts. I'm going to turn off ETFs and indexes for this one. And I'm going to put the premium at let's see, 50,000. Let's do 200,000. 200,000 is a good start. Now I'm going to put the spot at a max of 2 because I'm just personally not interested in spending more than $200 on a contract. So I'll put the max at 2 for the spot. And then I'll come down here to the IV. And the IV, I'm going to put, you got a minimum and a maximum of 1, which would be 100% IV. A minimum of 0, which would be 0 IV. I'm going to put it at a max of 0.25, which will give me anything under 25% IV contracts. The rest of the Greeks will be fine. I'm going to turn off cross trades because I don't want them. And we will click opening trades on and exclude deep in the money. Now, the reason for that is I'm excluding deep in the money because I still want at the money and slightly in the money. If I turn out the money only on, then I get only out the money contracts. And when something is fluctuating, it doesn't then include at the money or in the money. Those are still great contracts. The deep in the money stuff, I mean, that's for shareholders, in my opinion, and other stuff, and risk mitigation and gamma, whatcha-who's-its, and the dealy wops, you know what they use for that. So I don't want any of that. I'm just going to turn off exclude. I'm going to turn on exclude deep in the money, so I don't have to deal with any of that. And I only like single leg trades only. I don't want multi-leg trades. Those don't help me out very much. And it's going to be a pretty short list. Now I can adjust the premium if I'd like. I can put this down to 100,000, but really I want to see some emphasis, right? I don't want $5,000 trades coming in on this filter right here. This is going to be low IV, probably going to have some time, and it's going to be like nice swings, in my opinion. That's what I'm shooting for on this one. I'm looking for nice swings on this. And I'll leave the rest alone. Okay. Let's add another window, and I'll add a flow table. And for this one, what I'm going to do for this is I'm actually going to build this out just for SPY. And I don't care about mid or bid or no side. I want, you know what, actually I want to turn all of these on. I changed my mind. I just want SPY. And let's go with a premium of, this is probably going to fluctuate. Let's go with at least 10,000. Okay. And that'll be that. I'm going to add another window here, and I'm going to add in, which is it? Strike flow. Boom. And this is going to be for SPY. It's going to be default for SPY, but I can type in, you know, any one I want. And this, what this is going to do is this is a little tool that shows where all the money is going in on strikes. Now it doesn't show, you know, it doesn't show like puts or calls. It just shows me the strike number where there's money, right? And as you can see with today, I mean, everything was pretty much flat until, you know, right around this time. So maybe 1:30 or so, and the premium really took off. Now that's not something I'm probably going to see in this filter right here. You know, all the SPY. Probably not going to see much of that. I'm not going to see the 610 and the 604s. I'm probably just I'm going to see everything down here, right? So I want to see the strike flow so I can see where is the money going. Okay, so I can see it's going, you got 20 million into 610, and then minus 11 million into the 605s. So $11 million of premium left the 605 strike, and 20 million in premium went into the 610 strike today. So that's going to be interesting in my opinion. All right, next I'm going to I'm going to arrange these so it's a little bit easier to see. Put that one there. Then I'll put this one here. Come on. Come with me. There you go. And the idea behind this is up top, I can see premium. I can see the market tide, the market as a whole. Where's the money going? Today it all went into call premiums. They just went up. Then they went flat. They didn't dump, and then they went up some more as we continue to go. Same without the money. Basically the same thing. Okay, now at the end of the day, we saw this big bump in premium. So 20 million. That's where I said these filters are going to be a little fluid today, or a little fluid, because I want to be able to change, and I want to see what's that 610. Okay. And that's where I'll come in and I'll put the 610 strike. So I can see, okay, so we've got a lot of calls, a lot of puts. So we're 5.6 million there coming in at the end of the day. Now I can take a look. Wow, that was bright AF. Okay, sorry about that. And it was a 2.1 or $2.9 million on the ask, 8 DTE on 610 calls. That's why I have it there. So somebody's making a decent size bet that SPY is going to go to 610 today. And today is the 4th of December. So we'll see if that is accurate or not. I can go ahead and close that. And from here, I can go ahead and click the add, this little plus here. This is view in chain lookup. And that's going to be one of my other favorite screens in this whole shindig is the contract lookup. And this is where I can save contracts and I can go back and I can see if positions were added to, or if, you know, if large positions were dropped, or, you know, whatever. If I see a contract that I find is interesting, I'll add it here. Then I can come back and double check and I can see, you know, is it changing at all? I'm actually going to add the high and the low in there, and I'm going to turn the 30-minute off because this is like an overall. The 30-minute would be, you know, something I'd be looking at if I was looking at like day trade or short-term trade, but I don't really care about the 30-minute in this situation. All right, going back. Escape out of there. So we still got some more things that we can toss in here, right? We've got market tides. We've got SPY. I could make another one of these for the Qs, but to be honest, the S&P is usually the leading indicator, in my opinion, and I could switch this over to the Qs like I did earlier, and we're not going to see. Like, look at that. It is bonkers everywhere, right? Usually what the S&P does, the NASDAQ will typically follow, but the SPY and the S&P does typically tend to be the leading indicator. So 605's leaving, 610's coming in, and I've got and then I can narrow it down on the right here. So I can see where the premium is, and then I can narrow it down. There's probably a few other ways I could do this. I like it this way. All right, now let's go back to here, and we'll add a flow table again. And what do I want to add here? Well, let's add another low IV filter. 0.8% on the ask. And let's do just ETFs. I don't want indexes. I just want ETFs. And I don't even want SPY or QQQ here. I want to see the other ETFs. There we go. So I just typed $ SPY, QQQ up in the search field. And that took out SPY and QQQ from this filter, which is what I like. It makes sense to me. All right, now let's take a little bit more of a look here. We'll do premium. You know, looking at this, we've got like 1 DTE XLF calls. Someone picking them up at 15. They're spending a whole $15. I don't care about $15, man. I don't care about someone's Robinhood dinging an XLF because they think, you know, bank go up, right? I don't care about that. So I'll set the premium. Let's start at 10,000. Let's see if that gives us anything to work with. The spot, I mean, these ETFs, this is going to be a low IV, so let's set the IV to a max of 25% again. Then you see a lot of these contracts are right around 2 to 3. I don't care about these in the money, so let's go ahead and get rid of the exclude in the money. That'll weed some of those out. And I mean, these are I mean, 15,000 on some IWM. Let's put the spot. I'm going to put the spot at 3 on this filter, and that will squeeze most of that other stuff out. And DTE, I'll probably just keep it there unless I start seeing a bunch of, you know, like 1 and 5 DTE start coming through here. Then I'll get rid of that. Let's see what else we got. I want to turn on single leg. I don't really care too much about multi-leg stuff because that could easily be risk mitigation or gamma correction or, I don't know, whatever buzzword you want to use to do that. I'm really like a no frills type of guy here, right? I don't really do big. All right, so far we've got, I mean, look at that. Who does that? Who does this right here? Spread of 0 to 3. They hit it at 2 for 5,000. It is bonkers. Bonkers stupid. Wonder if I can weed some of that out. Although there's only one. I can weed some of that out by putting like the spot 0.01. That would, no, it still didn't have, whatever. You know what? Let's just move on. So single leg and then opening trades. That narrowed it down quite a bit. And that's today's stuff. Now, the thing with these filters here is this one is giving me everything for, I mean, it has everything for today. But this low IV filter down here, we didn't get any hits on it today, so it's giving me historical data going all the way back to October. Okay. And actually, this one, come down here and hide expired because I don't care about expired contracts. So this is giving me more historical data. I wonder if I can hit the time range, and really, I mean, really what I'm looking for is like the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks of data. So here's November. Do November 11th to December 6th here, and we'll hit apply. Yeah, that didn't come up with anything else to add. Let's add that to this one too. So that'll add to this filter, and we can take a look back into the historical data, which will be nice. And I'll go ahead and push that out to 250. Push this one out to 250 as well, if it lets me. Just so I have the room to look back and see. All right, cool. So we've got low IV filters, and we got big money, low IV. We've got more medium-sized money, low IV. Let's add one more, and I want to see. What do I want to see? I could add a chart in here. That way I would never have to leave Unusual Whales. But I can't add trades. Unfortunately, Unusual Whales does not sync to my broker. So I can't trade options from Unusual Whales. I can trade futures from Unusual Whales. And that, if that's something you'd like to know about, you can check that out with the Tasty Trade. You can link your Tasty Trade account and you can trade futures directly from here. But let's, I want to add another flow table. And I'm going to go some bigger money here. All right, let's go some bigger money, and I'm going to go like directional big money. Let's go 75% ask. Really? On 75% ask, and I lowered that to 75 from 80 just to leave a little bit of room. Calls and puts are good. I'm going to turn off ETFs and indexes. Excuse me. All right, now let's exclude deep in the money. I'm going to go opening trades, single leg. And I don't want to know about Bob's uncle buying 9 contracts at 5 on Fang. So let's, we're going to add a premium of, see, here's where it can be tricky. So figure about, you can add a blanket premium of, say, 100,000, but then you're going to miss out on some of your smaller stocks, right? If someone puts, if someone puts 30,000 into Meta, I mean, that's like, of course, it's nothing for Meta. But if someone puts 30,000 into, like, I don't know, Bumble, I kind of want to know about that, right? So you got this interesting dynamic here. So let's start with 25,000 in premium. And I mean, I could adjust the spot to be, contracts that maybe I'd want to look at. But I think what I'm going to do is leave it right there, because if I adjust it, say I don't really, if I adjust the spot to add like a max of 2, I'm really going to hamstring this. Am I going to go out there and am I going to pick up these Axon 670 call contracts for 186.50? No, like clearly I'm not going to do that. But it's nice to know that somebody is putting that money in there, right? In my opinion, it's nice to know. So, also nice to know that somebody put 1.47 million into Hood near the ask. Well, actually, that's more of a mid trade. That is interesting. Low multi. So someone's expecting, and this would be more of like a filter where I can see big money coming through, and I could do something like I could look at a shares trade, or I can see, okay, there's 1.57 million coming in on these what is it, the Salesforce, right? I might not look at that contract. I might want to look at a different contract, right? So just knowing that the money is coming through is enough to say, hey, maybe I should look at something here, right? Okay. So that's going to be the purpose of that. And, this feels pretty big here. I'm not sure if I really like how big this is. Let me add anything else here that's going to be useful. I mean, we can add options chains. You can add I could add spies option chain here, which might be helpful here if I can see, okay, there's 610. Let me just look at the options chain, the 610, and see if it's a call or a put. So that's an option. I think I'm probably just going to put a news feed. And that way I can just see headlines coming in. And let's see if I can get it. Probably not. Probably going to have to do something like this. And then move this to here. Move this to here. There we go. Cool. That fills up that space with useful information, in my opinion. Well, I mean, take what you will for news. Like, news can or cannot be useful, in my opinion. It's either noise or it's loud noise, right? If it's noise that I want to listen to, then great. If it's not loud, if it's loud noise, then I don't really care to listen to it. But anyway, that is Unusual Whales, Superflow. Put all these different aspects of Unusual Whales onto one screen. Super helpful if you have a larger monitor. Even if you don't have a larger monitor, you could cut some of this stuff out. You can add in, maybe just these low IV filters or the big money filter, and maybe like a market tide, and just have it on one screen. You don't need, a 70-foot screen, a 70-inch screen for this. But if you do have it, I mean, you can just keep adding and keep going and going. But this is how I use it. This is super helpful to me. This is what I look at. And I hope this video finds some sort of usefulness to you. And, if you're interested in signing up at Unusual Whales, again, you can get 10% off by using code AJOE at checkout, a coupon code, or you can go to ajoenamedjoe.com and follow the link there or the link in the description. And I will see you later. Probably not actually see you because I can't see you, but